Hey! Yo, everyone, Andrew here, bringing you another video review. Do you know what time it is? I'll tell you what time it is. It's morphin' time! Tyrannosaurus! Mm. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. I just had to do it. This thing is awesome. It's the new Legacy Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Morpher that came out. And I saw it in stores, and I just had to get it. Uh, Die-cast metal, so all metal. The coin is metal. Nice backing to it. It's pretty cool when you turn it on. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it makes the sound that the communicator makes. And then when you hit the button, it plays the theme music for Morphin, which is really just the Power Rangers theme music. And it goes through like the whole thing. You just hold the button down. It's just so cool. I could go through the whole song, but I won't. And then you can pop the coin out, and it comes with all 5 original power coins. And again, die-cast metal, or feels like pewter, but whatever. And then let me just show these off. I'm just so excited about this. It's just such a cool thing. So you have the Tyrannosaurus, which is Jason's most important. Screw Rocky. Then Saber-tooth Tiger, Pterodactyl, Mastodon, and Triceratops. And the only one that's really missing from the originals are the Dragon Zord. But screw Tommy, as long as I got Jason's coin, that's all that matters. In addition to getting the die-cast detailed morpher with the power coins that plop right in there, you also get a belt buckle holder. So it goes inside this, and you can put it on your belt buckle. That's pretty cool. This thing's heavy too. It's a lot of money though. It's not cheap, and I won't reveal how much it is because I had to go and Coinstar some old coins just to pay it off. So enough about Power Rangers, although there's never enough about Power Rangers. This thing is just awesome. I'm also picking up the Armored Legacy Red Ranger, which I have. You can't see it up there, but I have my Power Ranger collection, and I heard they might be coming out with a Legacy Dragon Zord. Anyways, what are we doing today? We're going to be doing my comic pull list for the week. Now, I'm going to have 2 small discrepancies in this pull list. One is, I think TMNT came out this week, but my comic store didn't have it, nor did anything else in my area did, so I might have to order it online, which sucks because TMNT is one of the books I was looking forward to the most. And 2, I have New Guardians in here, and I know I said I was going to drop New Guardians, but I think it was pulled anyways, and I just didn't get it last week, so I'm going to review it this week. Good news is I might not have to drop as many comics, and I'll get into that in a bit. So, might as well start where we always start, with just a little bit of Batman in our life, with Batman: The Dark Knight, issue number 22. Kicking off a new story arc, Greg Hurwitz is going to dip into another Batman villain. He started off with Penguin Pain and Prejudice. He gave Scarecrow some good treatment, and just gave Mad Hatter some good treatment. Now, Clayface. Yes, Clayface is going to be the star for the next 4 or 5 issues in Batman: The Dark Knight. And the basic gist of this issue is Commissioner Gordon has gone missing. And why he's gone missing, who took him, we don't know. Well, we eventually find out, but hey, whatever. Anyways, Batman has to find Commissioner Gordon, but at the same time, he has to deal with Clayface, who is becoming progressively more dangerous and more careless of his surroundings and the things that he could hurt. Will Batman be able to save Commissioner Gordon, or will, unfortunately, Gordon be a victim of Clayface? Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I like that they're using Clayface. I love what Greg Hurwitz has been doing. He's been taking, I wouldn't want to say lesser known Batman villains, but Batman villains that haven't been getting as great as a treatment in recent years, and giving them that treatment. From Penguin to Scarecrow to Mad Hatter, these are characters that everyone knows, but they're not necessarily treated as well as, say, Joker is, or Two-Face, or Hush, or Even Ra's al Ghul or Talia al Ghul. I mean, these are major Batman villains that just haven't really been touched or used that well since the '90s. Even even maybe beforehand. It's really in the '90s with the cartoon shows when they were popular. So I do like that. The art style is really nice in there, dark and gritty, which I do like how Dark Knight kind of switches up its art style every once in a while, which is good. Kudos to that. The story is fun, and for the most part, it's an honorable interpretation of Clayface. Bad? Zilch. This was a great issue. I really do like it, and I do like where Dark Knight is going. And this is such a casual, fun Batman book where I can just sit back, relax, and read. And I can do that with all my Batman books. But I think it doesn't need to be an epic story with this. It just needs to be a good story. So I enjoyed it. 5 out of 5, and I'm gonna turn my power morph off so I don't waste the batteries. Love that sound. Anyways, moving on. That was actually, I'm going to try to make that sound the ring communicated to what my text messages do, because currently it's the Dragonzord flute, what my text messages do, but I also use that for my alarm in the morning, so I instantly wake up whenever I hear that. It's kind of like the Dragonzord rising from sleep. I am rising from my sleep. Next in the Batman line is Batman Superman, issue number 2. But Andrew, Batman Superman, that's a team up comic. No, technically DC considers this a Batman comic. Why? This is going to sound silly, but two reasons. One, Batman comes first in the title. I'm going to take it. But two, most importantly, is all the different families or sections in the DC universe is given a different color tone. The Batman family is given blue, Justice League is given gold, Superman's given blue and red, the Dark is given gray, Young Justice is given like a red color. So every different bit of the DC universe. When it's broken up in a section, Green Lantern is green, and you can tell because in the new 52 section, it's still that color. So if you look here with Batman Superman is blue, where if you look at Batman the Dark Knight, it is also blue. So technically, it's considered part of the Batman family, and I will keep it in the Batman family. So, anyways, um, so yes, Batman and Superman issue number 2. So Batman and Superman are transported to Earth 2, and they face each other's counterparts. First, Superman fighting Batman, and Batman fighting Superman. Actually, it's really okay. How should I say this? I'm gonna call the regular Batman Superman Clark and Bruce for the sake of this review. And I will call Earth 2's Batman and Superman just Batman and Superman. So Bruce fights Catwoman from Earth 2, and Clark fights Batman from Earth 2. But obviously things get changed up and they switch their locations. So Batman fights Bruce and Clark fights Superman. And the two of them kind of go at each other. Uh, where does this lead for them and exactly who gets involved? Yes, another DC superhero shows up that gets involved in this, well, confusing but awesome crossover. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. The art is stunning, like I said beforehand. I did like the Batman versus Batman fight. It was really fun. And I do kind of like how Superman is kind of portrayed in this. Superman is an Earth 2 Superman. Uh, and how we kind of tie into the fact that this regular Clark is kind of more aggressive because he lost his family. So he doesn't have that temperament, or he hasn't been tempered like Earth 2 Superman. Bad as I do feel as though I know they're trying to make Superman a little bit more reckless, to say the least. Uh, but he kind of comes off as a complete dick in this. Um, as in our Superman, not Earth 2 Superman. Besides that, I think this was a solid second issue. I will give this a 4.5 out of 5. I think only really Superman acting like a dick was my problem. But it was a good issue. Enjoying the series. Red Hood and the Outlaws, issue number 22. So the basis of this is 3 stories being broken up. The majority of it is Jason walking around the hidden city of the League of Assassins and them basically convincing him to lead them. The second is Starfire and Essence kind of fighting each other and duking it out and eventually teaming up. And the third is Roy getting ready to attack the League of Assassins. And it all ends off on incredibly great tribute to 90s. It's it's silly when you first see it, but then when you stop and you say, you know what? That's actually pretty funny. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. I really did like how they went in detail with the League of Assassins and their world that they live in, and I like that they're utilizing the League of Assassins. I feel as though Lady Shiva is more Lady Shiva in this book than she was in Nightwing's, and rightfully she should be Lady Shiva. She shouldn't change up. There was nothing wrong with Lady Shiva. Maybe her costume sometimes, but other than that, there's nothing wrong with what Lady Shiva was before the New 52. Roy was absolutely funny in this, especially to the last issue, last page, and yes, it's Roy who is a tribute to the '90s. And lastly, Starfire versus Essence is pretty fun. Bad, and it just feels as though a lot did not happen, while a lot did happen. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Um, it didn't wow me. It was a fun read, but it was just that a fun read. I will give this a 3.5 out of 5. Definitely continue to pick it up. Things are going to get fun and going to get real in the next few issues. But it's really going to be good. Oh, Roy Harper. You silly goose, you. Moving on. Catwoman, issue number 22. The bane of my existence sometimes. Why is Ann Nocenti still on here? Ugh. So the basic gist of this is Rat Tail is missing, and Catwoman thinks that he could still be alive. So she wants to go into the depths of Gotham Underground to basically, literally underground, to basically find him and bring him back. Um, but she's going to need help. She's going to need technology. She's going to need gizmos and gadgets. So she goes to a friend, I think it's Tessa, I forget, to get her some stuff. And she actually gets some cool things. Electronic map. She can scan a building and it pulls up a map of it. And then a breathing apparatus. Um, but unfortunately, when she goes down in the depths of Gotham, she finds someone waiting there for her, none other than Dr. Phosphorus. Can Catwoman take on Dr. Phosphorus? Or, well, unfortunately, she has to join him. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. Well, Catwoman started off good with solid dialogue and fun, interesting. Her stealing from people, and I like the new technology she got, the gizmos and gadgets, which were really pretty fun. The art was pretty solid starting off too. The bad was when they introduced Dr. Phosphorus. Really, Dr. Phosphorus shouldn't be in the comic with Catwoman. Second of all, is it was just absolutely silly that there is yet another secret underground area where they have a huge tribe living in Gotham. I have no problem with that kind of concept, that there's some secret underground tribe underneath the city. It's just problem is Gotham has about like 12 of them. Gotham is riddled with secret societies and secret stuff and secret this and secret that. I know Gotham is a cool place, but when you have so much in it, it just gets to be a little unbelievable, even in a superhero comic. It would have been nice if she had to like go through a secret entrance outside of Gotham and in the swamplands, and that's where she found Dr. Phosphorus before she got into the underground. But she entered through Arkham Asylum, and Arkham is in Gotham, so it doesn't really count. I'm going to deduct big points for that because really I think Anna set the losing concept of what Catwoman should be. And there's nothing wrong with evolving Catwoman and making her more of a hero, especially seeing that she's a member of the JLA. But you have to still keep connection to what the character is. She's the thief. Um, she should really be thieving around and stealing stuff. Maybe even working for the JLA and stealing for it. Going up against very super villainish villains, like ridiculous powers and situations, isn't really Catwoman. Although, to in Nocenti's credit, I do like how Catwoman kind of mourns Rat Tail in the beginning of the story. Although she doesn't think Rat Tail's dead, she still kind of mourns him, which is kind of cool. On a whole, 2.5 out of 5. For every step forward it takes, I feel as though it takes a step back. Moving on to Talon, issue number 10. Oh my, so Talon is, again, trying to go after Bane, and Bane just doesn't even give a shit about Talon. Bane just wants to conquer Gotham. And by the way, Bane's costume in this looks a whole lot better than his first appearance, New 52 costume. Anywho, while this is going on, Talon has to take on one of Bane's mutilated creations, but a mutilated creation that wanted to be mutilated and created. He goes up against some spider guy in a pretty funny and pretty cool fight. And he gets some help. But who exactly is helping him? And what will happen to his dear friends who are being tortured by the Court of Owls? Gonna have to read and see. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. Pacing was great in this. I never felt as though there was a slow moment. I do like the two stories going on, which is with Calvin and also with his comrades that have been taken by the Court of Owls. The utilization Bane in this is good. He feels in character, although his little experiments are silly. Experimental people are silly. The Bane's in character. Cassie is awesome in this. I really like how she gets out of her situation. Just on a whole, it's a 5-star book. There's no bad in this. 5 stars. And again, I think Bane's being used better in this than he's been used in some other comics. Moving on to something outside DC, we'll do Miss Fury issue number 4. Basically, Miss Fury wants to get back to her hometown. She doesn't want to be in Nazi-filled 2013. And we get a little bit more about her backstory and what kind of shapes her to be who she is. Her relationships with her father and relationships with the men that she loves. But really, she wants to take down the dude that is sending her through time. Will she succeed? Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. Art is great. I do like as though we're getting more layers to um, Miss Fury, and I think there was some pretty cool scenes in this, especially when the time guy, the time control, the time traveler, literally warps a Navy ship from the 1940s into 2003 just to crush people. Why? Because he can. Pretty fun. Good action, and just on a whole, it's very entrancing. Bad is I really do not like the concept of her traveling to the future. Only because I feel as though it's done way too much with some Dynamite's noir kind of characters. I felt as though, Black Bat does it, the Owl goes to the future, now Miss Fury is going to the future. I would like it better if she just stayed in 1940. But on a whole, solid issue, 4 out of 5. Pick it up. Captain America, issue number 9. Boy, did last issue end off on such a cliffhanger, and it was such a good issue. What happens this issue? Well, basically, Sharon, I think it's Sharon Carter. I'm still trying to learn Marvel characters' names. Captain America's love interest is shown up and basically tells him, "This is all fake. Don't fake the kid. Fake." But Captain America's like, "No, it's not fake. This is pretty damn real. It's all real." And the two of them try to escape Zola. That's his name, right? Zola's his world. Unfortunately, everything comes crumbling down on them, and exactly how they're gonna get it out, well, they don't know. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. Very fast paced, good dialogue, and it has you out on the edge of the seat the whole time. Bad is I feel as though it's a transition issue and not as much happened as you think would happen. Um, Whether or not you should get it, yeah, definitely. Captain America. I want to say a solid 4 out of 5. This issue not quite as good as last issue, but still I think it's one of the best of Marvel now. That's my opinion. Maybe it's because I love Captain America. He's my favorite Marvel character, but I stand by that. It's one of the best in Marvel now. La Freeze, issue number 2. So La Freeze goes up against this dude. I forget his name. Lord. There we go. And while this is going on, La Freeze's butler talks to Lord's dog. And that's basically it. The two of them fighting each other and going at each other while there's commentary happening off in the background. Yeah, that's basically the issue. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. The dialogue here is great. Keith Gittins really knows how to write this fun dialogue. And it's fun dialogue. It's not supposed to be comedic, although it does come off as comedic. It's just fun dialogue. The art was fun, and some of the comments that LaFreeze says is just great. It is a very carefree book. That's the thing. It's doing its own thing and it doesn't care what's happening. Bad, none. LaFreeze was great this weekend. Like I said, it's good that DC's doing some fun comics as well as dark and serious comics. Fun comics. Moving on, Green Lantern New Guardians issue number 22. I don't know if this was last week or this week, but I picked it up anyways. Basically, in this, Relic versus Kyle Rayner and Carol Ferris. And Relic is trying to learn about this universe because apparently he's from the previous universe. Does that mean the previous universe of the Big Bang? Like, because there's theories out there, the Big Bang happens and then it collapses and it'll happen again and collapse and happen again. Or is it the previous universe before the New 52? I don't know. I think it's the Big Bang. But anyways, Relic tries to figure out information on the universe. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, I'm enjoying Relic as a villain. And Kyle Rayner, I enjoyed how he was trying to cope and deal with what was going on inside his head. And you'll see exactly what I mean when you read this issue. Carol Ferris was handled very well in this, and I feel as though this is great setup for what will be the Lights Out issue. Bad? None. I enjoyed this issue thoroughly, and it gets a 5 out of 5. Justice League Dark. Number 22, Trinity War Part 3 of 6. So basically in this, the Justice League America, and Justice League Dark all kind of work together, but they all kind of go on their separate ways. They all branch out into basically three teams. One team is Wonder Woman, and Wonder Woman goes to the Justice League Dark thinking that Pandora is the answer, and that we should go to Pandora and beat the shit out of her and take her box. Not beat the shit out of her, but get the box and figure a cure to Superman. And that team, and I'm going to try to list it down because you see how they get separated. Give me one sec. That team consists of Wonder Woman, Deadman, Frankenstein, Hawkman, Stargirl, Black Orchid, Aquaman, and Zatanna. So they're the ones that want to go after the box. And then there's Batman's team, which is basically Batman saying, hey, let's not jump to conclusions. Let's first figure out if that's actually the case. Let's sit down and figure out exactly what's happened to Superman before we jump to conclusions. And that team consists of Batman, Stephen Trevor, Vibe, Catwoman, Katana, Flash, and Phantom Stranger. And then the third team is basically Superman, who was told by the Question that you might be being manipulated by someone else. And I think I know who it is. Which that team consists of Superman, Cyborg, Firestorm, Elemental Woman, Atom, Green Arrow, and Martian Manhunter. And of course, John Constantine kind of buggers off with Captain Marvel, which I'll get into this later, or Shazam. And it's just basically a split between the three teams, but not a split that one team goes one way and the other team goes another way. Justice League Dark, Justice League America, and Justice League, they all kind of all mix together and split there. Exactly who is correct? Well, I'll leave that up to you. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I do like the mixing of the teams. I do like the separation. I like the conflict that's happening. I like how this is still them thinking that it's an attack on Superman, but there is something more behind it. Something much more behind it. The art was really good. I do like, I think it's Mikel Gian. I've always liked this. I always liked the art on Justice League Dark, but I felt as though cool to see Batman, Superman, Cyborg, all of them, and Wonder Woman have this art also on there too. And I felt as though it was very paced very well. Bad. The only bad I could really say, technically, is Wonder Woman comes off as a little too much of a hothead. Besides that, it was a solid issue. I still don't think Zatanna should have joined Wonder Woman's team. I think she should have stayed on Batman's team. That's just me. Everyone else felt as though they fell into place pretty good. 4.5 out of 5. Pick up. Trinity War is continuing to be a fun book. Tying into Trinity War will be Constantine, issue number 5. Basically, this tells the story of what happens with Constantine and Shazam after they bugger off and they kind of do their own thing. And it's just basically that. Constantine gets Shazam's powers, but how does he do it? And why does he do it? You're just gonna have to read and see. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Uh, Great dialogue. I thought the interactions between Shazam and Constantine was very natural. I felt as though it tied into Trinity War very well, while at the same time being its own standalone issue. Bad? I really can't think of any bad about this. Uh, it was a solid issue, but I'm going to leave it with like a 4.5 out of. You know what? No, it has no bad. I'll give it a 5 out of 5. It was fun, enjoyable, and a solid issue. Decent tie-in because you really don't need to read Trinity War to enjoy it, but if you do, it helps. Teen Titans issue number 22. So this is kind of the conclusion to the Trigon arc. It's not really. The Titans work together to defeat Trigon, and Raven joins the team, and she reveals that uh, basically Tim Drake was being possessed the whole time, or not the whole time, but being manipulated, which explains why he hooked up with both Solace and also Wonder Girl. And in addition to that, it leads off on two cliffhangers, one involving Raven and one involving Bart Allen. Um, so yeah, good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good, I felt as though the first half of the book was very solid, well paced, good action, and it was cool to see Raven actually join the team and some resolution to tying up some loose ends to some of the story arc. Bad is that this is not the last we'll see of Trigon, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I felt as though it's kind of the same thing over and over again with Raven and Trigon, and you're going to see exactly what I mean when you read the book. So that's really the only bad I could say. It felt short, but there's a reason why it felt short. Hopefully, it gets the resolution with Marv Wolfman taking over Villains Month, which would be cool. Whether or not you should get it, it's a solid issue. I think the pacing could have been a little bit better. But besides that, I will give this a 4 out of 5. Wolverine issue number 7. Wolverine's now killable because he lost his mutant powers. And not the mutant powers, he lost his healing factor, specifically. So it's the claws, which technically is mutant power. The adamantium isn't, but the claws technically was a mutation. And then all his other skills should be there. But he's now killable. And he is scared shitless, apparently. Even scared enough to shave. But he has Nick Fury and Storm to pull him back to reality. But can they do it before something bad happens to Wolverine? Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I like the interactions between Wolverine and Nick Fury and Wolverine and Storm in this. Particularly Wolverine and Storm, which I always felt as though had an interesting relationship. Not necessarily on a romantic level, but although on a romantic level I think they would work. But also I just think they worked. They have an interesting relationship as friends and lovers and so on and so forth. Um, the art was good, and I think there's a good setup for the next issue. Bad, I felt as though Wolverine is just too much of a pansy in this. Okay, yes, you lost your mutant powers. You're not used to the fact that you could die at any point. One good shot to the head, right between the eye, and get into the brain, or maybe even someone stabs you the right way, right through those adamantium ribs, yeah, you can die. But it's Wolverine. He's acting like kind of a sissy. I'll take, for example, he gets attacked and mugged in the back alley by someone. And he's all scared during it. One, okay, Wolverine doesn't have his healing factor. That doesn't mean he doesn't have his enhanced speed, strength, agility, and reflexes. So some random schmuck in the back alley with a knife attacking him should really be no problem for Wolverine with his enhanced speed, strength, agility, reflexes, and senses. Now, let's just say, for example, let's just say Wolverine loses all his mutant abilities. Even then, he's lived 100+ years. He has 100+ years of combat experience. A random mugger in the alleyway should be no problem for Wolverine, even if they have a knife. Besides that, I did get enjoyment out of this issue, and Wolverine comic is balancing out. I don't feel as though this is a story that needs to be told because it's been told before. They even say it's been told before in the story. 3 out of 5 for Wolverine. We're getting close to the end. 4 more comics, I think. Warlords of Mars, issue number 27. So, Tars Tarkin and John Carter go to the Yellow Martians to do their investigation. And it's basically that. The majority of the issue is just them investigating and figuring out exactly what's going on. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Art was good. The dialogue was well handled, although if this continues the trend that the previous comics do, it should be good because it's straight from the books. And I do like this investigation that's going on. Bad, it was kind of boring. I think it could have been translated a little bit better, but besides that, solid issue, 4 out of 5. Superman issue number 22. So Hector Hammond is confronting Queen Bee. And Queen Bee wants to use Hive and take over the world, blah, blah, blah. Hector Hammond wants to use Hive and take over the world, blah, blah, blah. And Brainiac kind of ties into all this. Exactly how Brainiac ties into all this, well, you're just going to have to read and see. Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Good. I do like the fact that Queen Bee. I enjoy this interpretation of her. I did enjoy the interpretation of Queen Bee from the Young Justice cartoon, but I felt as though this is a kind of a fun teenager-ish young Queen Bee, which is actually nice. It's a different take and a take that I enjoy. Um, I like how Hector Hammond's being used in Superman. For a villain that is a Green Lantern villain, he's transitioned well over to Superman, and I like Cat Grant in this. I like what's going on with her and Superman as a partnership, not sexual, just a partnership. Bad, a lot's happening at once, but I don't think that's overwhelmingly bad. I will give this a 4 out of 5. Superman's a solid series. Pick it up. Aquaman issue number 22. Whoops, something dropped. So Aquaman goes up against the king of all kings, the king of Atlantis, the first king. And boy, is it a fight. Him and Mira versus the king of kings. Well, Mook, and Tula tries to get Ocean Master out of human prison. Will Aquaman be able to take on this king, or will his followers help him out? Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Great fight scenes in this. Great, well paced. Really do like the King of Atlantis, and I do like the twist at the end. Bad, none. Aquaman, solid issue. Pick it up. 5 out of 5. Flash issue number 22, the last comic to review this week. So Flash is again trying to find the Speed Force murderer, and he's scared for Iris's life, so he gets her a suit, a special suit that is similar to his that contains her, and and he leaves her in the protection of Patty. How kind of awkward is that? And Flash and Reverse Flash finally have their true first confrontation and their first true fight. But who comes out on top? And will there be lives lost? Good, bad, whether or not you should get it. Similar to Aquaman. Good, about everything. I enjoyed the interactions between Patty and Iris. I enjoy the fact that Iris has a general concern and interest in the well-being uh, of Barry Allen. Not necessarily the Flash, but Barry Allen. Think about that. She's concerned about Barry, not the Flash. And I do like as though it all accumulates to one final big conflict and fight. Bad, nothing. It's, again, another solid issue. 5 out of 5. Flash, you should not be surprised that it's a 5 out of 5 issue because it's the Flash. It has been consistently good throughout the series. So I am going to pull out my 5 that I consider my picks of the week. And I have them. And now let's review them. Coming in at number 3 is Aquaman issue number 22. Like I said, everything worked out well for this issue. Really do like the King of Atlantis as a villain or an adversary. Number 2 is LaFreeze issue number 2. Just a fun book. Just fun, and it has no constraints. It's just doing what it does, and great dialogue. Keep it up. And lastly goes to Batman The Dark Knight issue number 22. Just Greg Hurwitz is doing a great job telling stories of characters doing their thing, and I really do like it. Really, really do like it. And I like how he's doing these reinterpretations, but also honoring those villains. So, a lot has happened this past week. a lot to talk about. And the fact that I'm a little hungry. This past week has been kind of a crazy week for me. Um, because where I work at Enterprise, we have something, after you work for about a year or so, you get something called a grill. Now, it's not limited to a year. You can do it at 11 months or so, depending on where you stand. I, I, I'm doing it at 9 months. I worked with the company 9 months, so I'm doing it much earlier than most people, along with one of my colleagues who also did it at 9 months, who did it with me. And this week was the grill on Thursday. So from last Thursday all the way up until this past Thursday. So 2 Thursdays ago, up till this past Thursday, I did nothing but studying. I would sit down with my boss, my manager, my assistant manager for a good like 3 4 hours after work. So from like 6 o'clock to like 10 o'clock, just sit there and study and cram away, just so I can pass this because the grill isn't something to take lightly. And I've heard a lot of people fail the grill too because it's tough. You have to know your business. I went in there and for like 4 hours that day, going from each department head um, and to a area manager, kind of said my thing. It's almost like an interview with each one. Um, but I passed, and that means I instantly get promoted to the next step, which is management assistant, and that gives me a pay increase, which is really great for comics, but also for living, because I'm moving out and getting married. In addition to that, that also means that I can now throw for assistant manager spots, so I get even more of a pay increase. So, starting this Monday, I'm going to start getting prepared to throw for assistant manager spots. So I get promoted. I got promoted. I could get promoted again really quickly. Fingers crossed. I want to, and I need to. So, really exciting but tiring week for me for work because I've stayed long hours just studying, and it's really good to get out of the way. Like I didn't go to karate. I didn't go to the gym. I didn't really play video games. I didn't read comics. I didn't do really anything. I didn't read comics until after the grill. Oh, and how heart wrenching was it to just sit there and wait because you wait for them to give you a call. Your area manager gives you a call and tells you if you pass or not. So I'm sitting there. I can even tell you the page in which comic I'm on. I'm reading Superman. I'm reading the page where the tentacles come out and stuff like that. And my phone goes off. And it went off a couple times because people have been asking me if I passed or not. It's like 3 o'clock, so it was a couple hours. It was probably 3 hours after the grill. I pick it up right away. And I'm like, Rob, because my manager, his name is Rob, and it's like, you picked that up quick. And he told me that I passed, and I was just pumped. But it was a really hard wait. So awesome. I'm pumped. With that, I had my wedding shower this past Sunday. Probably the only day I really didn't study because it's my wedding shower. That means things are getting closer and closer and closer. I'm less than 2 months away from getting married. Pretty crazy, isn't it? Got a place to live. So I'm moving stuff. We already started moving stuff. I'm probably going to do some more of that today. I'm going to start cleaning out the room. Got some boxes I got to put stuff in. It's getting pretty close. Getting pretty near. So that's happened. What else? Oh, I watched Captain America, the movie, for the first time. Um, really liked it, and I have to say, I think it's one of the better of the Marvel movies. Not quite as good as Spider-Man 2, which I hold as probably one of the best of the Marvel movies. But I did enjoy it more than Avengers. I did enjoy it more than the X-Men movies. So yeah, good. And I kind of want to go see the Wolverine, so I might go see that today, depending on when I get done with this video. I'm gonna go to the gym, and then I might hang out with my buddy up. I'm gonna have to see. So had that happen. Oh, Legos. It's going somewhere. A lot of you may or may not know my story and history with Legos. I'll do it really quick because we don't have much time to just talk about Legos. I loved Legos when I was a kid. Absolutely loved Legos. And I think the biggest mistake I ever made with stuff I possessed and owned was selling my Legos. The only thing I kept was my favorite Lego creation I made, which is what I call the Red Revenger, which is a spaceship. And inside it is this dude. Oh god, it's so old. There we go. Dude right in there, and he has a sword, yes. So uh, he's in there, and I love this thing. So I kept this, but I got rid of Legos, and I finally got him some suitable. hair too. This is Bruce Wayne's hair. Um, so yeah, I kept this, and I've always loved Legos. So my buddy and I are walking. Was it last Saturday? Yeah, it was last Saturday. It was before my wedding shower. Wedding shower was on Sunday, and we walked through the mall and we went to the Lego store just to see what was in there because I do have some DC Legos. I have Batman with the Batplane, Wonder Woman, Superman from the movie. I do have some figures from not figures but sets now. I bought a few, but I went in there and I think I finally accomplished something that I always wanted to do. See, my guy, he needs to have a love interest because the hero has to have a love interest. In my head, I knew exactly what I wanted the love interest to be, but Legos when I was growing up had horrible hair pieces for females. Horrible. Like they were just atrocious and they were so bland. But Legos nowadays have hair pieces for everything. There's like mohawk and afro hair pieces if you want to. So they have this deal for like $10. You can make your own 3 Lego figures. So I made 3. I made what will be the love interest for my character, which is, if you look there, she actually has a decent female wig, and I gave her 2 guns. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then I made 2 other ones because really you had to. But wow, fucking Legos got violent, and 2 swords, 2 swords. So who knows? I might want to pick up some Lego sets and kind of just start over and recreate what was Legos. I need to dust this thing like crazy. Might have to buy some more parts for it. Um, but yeah, crazy how Legos kind of come back into your life. What else is going on? Video game wise, what have I been playing? I finally beat Sonic Colors, which was a really good game. Only complaint is it was short, but it had great level design, great music, great dialogue, great gameplay. I say it's better than Sonic 06, Sonic the Secret Rings, Sonic Unleashed, not Sonic Adventure, but not quite as good as Sonic Adventure 2 Battle or Sonic Heroes when it comes down to 3D Sonics. And I haven't played Generations yet, so we'll have to see. But played that, and now I'm playing Project X Zone, so that's on my list of playing right now. Wow, I put the power coin upside down. There we go. So I'm playing Project X Zone, and I played a little bit of it so far, not too much, but it's very reminiscent of Fire Emblem. So good game, enjoying it. What else? What else? What else? That's about all on the video game level. Yeah, Comic Con just came and ended. Nothing too big happened in there. The only thing that I'm hugely excited for that I heard from there is they're making a Harley Quinn book with Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor, who I didn't know were married, but they're married to each other, and it should be a good book. So with that said, I don't really have too much more to say. Other than the fact I gotta get my shit together and start moving. So let me pull up the questions for last week because, like I said, with every video like this, every Comic Low video, I always do a question and answer session, or I just comment on. Oh, another video game thing. I finally downloaded all the downloads for Injustice: Gods Among Us for the Wii U because they came out. So I've been playing it. My new characters are. I still love playing Deathstroke, but Batgirl is pretty damn good, and Wonder Woman I've gotten a lot better with. I think Wonder Woman's my best character right now. So. I got all those downloads. Zod is fun. Lobo is very fun. Scorpion is Scorpion, so he's going to be good. And I like all the costumes that I now have. So, really good. I'm looking forward to Martian Manhunter and Booster Gold. I can do this eyebrow, but I can't do that one. Anyways, let's get on to some questions. Okay. Dark Hell Skull, what are your thoughts on Arkham Origins Copperhead and the new game as a whole? How do you see Batman versus Wonder Woman going, and Batman Beyond Unlimited ending at issue number 18? Is it issuing? It's ending at issue 18? I heard a whole new creative. Okay, anyway. And Universe starts next month after some time passes in the timeline. Okay, so first thing, Batman Arkham Origins as a game, it looks like it's going to be great. Copperhead, I actually like that interpretation of Copperhead more than I like the regular Copperhead. I saw the demo of her. It was kind of cool how she was moving around as a snake also. As for Batman versus Batwoman, I think it will be a fun fight. I want Batman to come on top because he's my favorite character, but it's Batwoman's comic, so it's going to be interesting to see how they play it off. I think it'll come to a stalemate, if anything. Batman Beyond Unlimited ending at issue 18, and then Universe starts up after the next month. I didn't know that was happening. I thought Batman Beyond was just continuing, but as long as it continues, it's a fun comic. It really is. Uh, Dino990913. Thoughts on an X Force movie? Question mark. Thoughts are is I'm not a big fan of X Force, so I would really care less if they did it or not. X Force is Cable, right? Or is that X Factor? No, that's X Force. I I really don't care. Omar 13Z. Hey Andrew, I was wondering if you could explain Earth 2 for me. I was under the impression that Flashpoint was to merge the DC Vertigo and Wildstorm universes into one huge universe. So why is Earth 2 integrated into the New 52? I don't mind it. I hear it's a great title and I don't read it, so it doesn't bother me, but it kind of takes away from the purpose of Flashpoint, right? Fill me in. I feel like I'm missing something here. It doesn't take away the purpose of Flashpoint. The DC universe, after Infinite Crisis, split up into multiple universes. The concept of Flashpoint is that the main universe, Earth Prime, we call it Earth Prime. It's actually New Earth before 50. Anyways, the main universe, the one where all our stories take place on, was shattered into three. It was shattered into Wildstorm's and Vertigo's universe also. What needed to happen was the point of Flashpoint was to merge that universe back together, to make it whole. By doing so, it caused a ripple effect throughout all the other universes and changed them as well as itself. So Earth 2 is a ripple effect of that New 52 change. I hope that makes sense. So let me try to explain it again real quickly for you. Flashpoint's purpose was to take the regular DC universe and merge it with Vertigo Wildstorm to make what it's supposed to be, its proper incarnation. New 52 is what the comic universe is supposed to be. And by that caused a ripple effect on all the other worlds, changing them. So Earth 2 is now separate from New Earth, or separate from the Prime universe, and in its own separate Earth. And as we'll probably see with like the crime syndicate of America from Earth 3, once they show up, they will be different too. So I hope that answers your question. Blue Lantern of 2814. One of my favorite parts of a recent issue of Vibe is seeing extra dimensional DC Universe characters like Hera and Lady Quark. Yep, it's kind of cool that they're just using a bunch of random DC characters, which is great. Nick Lenz, hi Andrew. Three questions for you. First, where is Ray Palmer since his last appearance in Frankenstein, Angel and Shade, issue number 8? I believe he was mentioned in Justice League as being the person that works on the new Adams costume. I could be wrong, but I believe that's actually his last physical appearance. Second, I know you hardly ever read Vertigo books beside the Wake, but have you ever thought of reading Sandman Mystery Theater? A lot of stuff I've heard was good about Sandman. Maybe I will at some point when everything's completed, but who knows? It's a very comic. It's a very comic. It has a film noir-like feel to it. Third, what do you think of DC will do with the Ravagers since the series is ended? The Ravagers will probably be brought back in some Teen Titans storyline. At least I believe so. Bent Back Gypsy, are you going to review Flashpoint animated movie? Yeah, I probably will give my thoughts on it once I watch it. It hasn't come out yet, has it? Because I tried looking for it and it wasn't in stores last week. Bent Black Gypsy also says, also to elaborate on what someone else said in your previous video, Lex Luthor's Man of Steel is a 5-issue run on Brian Azzarello back in 2005. I definitely recommend you pick up the hardcover trade. You really like the keen insight onto Lex's motivations. Now, see, I didn't know that. Thank you for clearing that up for me. So I did not read Brian S. Morello's Lex Luthor. Felipe 19991. Now Betty Kane is Hawkfire. Yeah, I like Flame Bird better, to be honest. I just don't care to learn her new name. Felipe 9991 also says, can Batwoman be worthy of a challenge to Batman with the help of Bane? Yeah, with the help of Bane she could, because it's Bane, the one and only man to defeat the Batman, truly defeat him. Fallout 3 Freak 1. Hey, which are the villains that you are looking forward to the most in Forever Evil? Mine is Cyborg, Superman, Black Hand, and Have a Nice Day. Have a Nice Day is a villain. No, good question. I would like to see Lobo, the Secret Society, Darkseid. Is one I'm looking forward to. Um, there's a lot. I think the only ones I'm not looking forward to is the characters that really shouldn't have a villain month, like Sinestro. I know it's supposed to be set in the past, but he's not really a villain anymore. And Joker, who is missing from the DCU, so he really shouldn't be having a thing. I know it's set in the past also, but not really interested in them. But I would have to say Darkseid's the one I'm looking forward to the most because we haven't seen him since the first 5 issues of Justice League. Hey Andrew, you are the person that this is George Jones. Hey Andrew, you are the person that got me hooked on being a comic book reader like 2 or 3 years ago. So who or what got you hooked on to comic books? Um, I did. I got myself. I don't think there was anything that drove me to get hooked on comic books. I would have to say maybe watching the Batman movies and the animated series helped, but I somehow I just was always interested. Sometimes you can't go back and figure out what made you interested in something. It just happens. What New 52 did you originally dislike but love now? For me, it's Superman. First, I disliked it, but now I love it and I can't ever being any different. Love from across the pond. To be honest, it's probably Batman the Dark Knight, which started off so bad, but now it's one of the best Batman titles. So, Super Mega Boy 8. Glad you enjoyed Ireland. I lived there myself. Just wondering what part did you visit? All of it. We started in Dublin, or however you want to pronounce it. I'd say Dublin. And we went all the way around, and we went back. So we went to all of it, which was great. Great time. Batman Beyond for the win. My favorite part of Ireland was probably to kiss the Blind Stone, and I think I said this before, but the most beautiful thing I saw was just just looking at the green and just the scenery was amazing. But everything from Ireland was awesome. Batman Beyond for the win. What's your favorite Superman story set in the New 52? Hmm, good one. You know what? To be honest, I mean, it's probably Hell on Earth because I think it was probably pound for pound handled the best. So I'm gonna go with that. Tap 54. Hey Andrew, just wanted to let you know that I would never have gotten into comics if it weren't for you and your videos. I can't thank you enough for introducing me to my new hobby. Well, you're welcome. I'm glad that I helped out in some way, shape, or form. It's always good to know when people join into comics because comics kick ass. Zach Brown, hey Andrew, did you watch any of the Comic Con and hear the news about Man of Steel's sequel instead of being a Superman Batman crossover? If so, what are your thoughts and are you excited about hearing the news? Um, uh, I've been keeping up to date with the Comic Con news. I did hear about the Superman Batman stuff, which should be fun. My thoughts on Comic Con is it was very low key this year. Nothing really huge happened. So I wasn't too excited. I mean, it's good to see the Batman Superman movie might happen and hear about some of the comic stuff, but really didn't get a huge vibe from Comic Con this year. Maybe it's just me. Puppy Killer. What? Puppy Killer? Okay. Anyways, Puppy Killer 97. Some of your names. Andrew, do you watch Doctor Who? If so, who is your favorite Doctor and your favorite Doctor Who villain? My favorite Doctor is a tie between the 10th Doctor, David Tennant, and the 5th Doctor, Peter Davison. And my favorite villain would have to be the Daleks. If you don't watch Doctor Who, I highly recommend you do. I've seen a few episodes of Doctor Who. My friend Jay, he is obsessed with it, and I talk to him all the time about it. And I know the basic um, basic knowledge on Doctor Who. I can't say I've watched enough to tell you who's my favorite Doctor or who's my favorite villain. Would I like to watch Doctor Who? Absolutely. Is there a lot to watch for Doctor Who? Tons. So, in able to get into Doctor Who, I need to really be in the right mindset and have money. But I think somewhere down the road, I will eventually watch Doctor Who. It just might be another 2, 3 years from now when I'm a little bit more settled. Truth Attic 11. Thoughts on new Red Sonja writing T? I assume you mean team. I, are you talking about the new Red Sonja comic? Yes, it's good. I like it. It's fun. It really is fun. And I think it's the revitalization that Red Sonja needed. Truth Attic 11 also says thoughts on the new Red Sonja writing team and Superman Batman team up in Man of Steel 2. The path to the Justice League movie. Have you heard of the Flashpoint paradox yet? Um, Superman Batman 2 team up. Like I said, it's going to be cool. I want to see it happen, and I think it should lead into a Justice League movie. As for the Flashpoint paradox, have I seen it yet? No, but I will probably get it this weekend. Maybe I'll watch it tomorrow if it's out. I still haven't seen it. Nightwing 77. Oh, his is a response to Stuntman 101. So Stuntman 101 or Stunt said, "Have you seen Beware the Batman yet? I just finished watching the first episode. Not the biggest fan of the CGI, but I should get used to it. So far, my biggest problem is Michael Holt, aka Mr. Terrific, was portrayed. I hope he shows up and redeem in the future and redeems himself." Um, Yeah, and the Nightwing 77 said Mr. Terrific was not in the show at all, which is not true. He actually was. Michael Holt was in the first episode. The first episode was okay. The second episode with Magpie was a lot better, and I did enjoy that episode a lot more. I enjoyed it. I think it's a nice different interpretation of Batman. As for the CGI, why not? We've had cartoon Batmans for a while. Why not try CGI? Sound Drum 86. Hey Andrew, now that we've been getting a Batman Superman movie, there's been rumors of a plot to be mostly like Dark Knight Returns. If you could make a movie, how would you introduce Bruce Wayne Batman to the Man of Steel? Or what storyline from Batman Superman comics would you use? To be honest, I think a good way to introduce Batman into the Superman universe would to do it similar to how the Superman cartoon did, the world's finest big crossover event that they did. I think it was honestly one of the best first introductions or first meetings between Batman and Superman. You take two of their enemies. It doesn't have to necessarily be Joker or Lex Luthor, although Lex Luthor would be a good one. Then use Ra's al Ghul might be also pretty good, and just use them together. I think that would, and then have that kind of the two of them meeting up, being kind of adversaries at first, but then finding out each other's identities and working together. So I would use that as my basis. And last one is George Jones. What new 52 costume? Sorry, I made errors in my question. Do you originally dislike and now like? Oh, you said comic. Well, I gave you two answers. Costume that I originally did dislike, but I now like. I'm not sure. I have to think about that one. Um, what new 52 costume did I not like, but now I do like? That's tough because I'm still pretty much feel the same about all the costumes. Uh, no, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I don't think my mind has changed on any of the costumes. I can't answer that because I'm none of my mind has not changed. It's basically the same. So I'm gonna end this video here. I'm running out of time, like 3 seconds. So this is Andrew saying peace out for now.